Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The latest updated weather charts predict closeness of the storm from South Sharqiya coast on Thursday morning with chances of light to heavy rains on Wednesday. The Sultanate discusses benefiting from UNESCO International Institute for Educational Planning in drawing policies and enhancing work in field of educational planning. And the seminar on illegal possessions in the Governorate of South Al-Batina reveals more than 2,000 cases are recorded in taking possession of the state's land plots. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in details. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cabal of greetings to His Excellency President Dr. Aníbal Cavaco Silva of Portugal on his country's National Day. His Majesty the Sultan has also sent a cabal of greetings to Her Excellency President Dr. Amina Gurib Fakim of the Republic of Mauritius on the occasion of her being inaugurated as the President of the Republic. The latest weather forecast and satellite images indicate that the tropical storm Shobha will be centered in the mid of the Arabian Sea, moving towards the northwestern direction. The center of the tropical system is about 650 kilometers far from the coast of the Governorate of South Sharqiya. The surface wind's speed around the center is estimated by 70 to 90 knots. In spite of the continuous varied possibilities on the expected direction of the storm, the latest updated weather charts forecast the closeness of the storm from South Sharqiya coast on Thursday morning, with chances of light to heavy rains. Accompanied by active and heavy winds on the Governorate of South and North Sharqiya, Muscat, Dakhiliya, South Al-Batina from Wednesday evening to Friday evening. The seas will become rough on all coasts of the Sultanate during the upcoming 3 days, with a wave height between 3 to 6 meters. Indicators still show the possibility of the weaknesses of the condition gradually as it gets closer to the Sultanate's coasts. The Public Authority for Civil Aviation calls for the necessity of taking caution and not to venture out to flowing wadis and to stay away from low areas, and advises all to follow latest updates from official sources. For more details with us live, Suleiman Al-Jahdami, senior methodologist. Can you describe, I think we'll go back, Derek, can you describe the nature of the storm until this morning or this moment?
First, I would like to say good evening to everyone out there. The thing, what the present situation, this is the latest weather advisory which was issued at 3 p.m. this afternoon, and it is called Tropical Storm Shobha. Let me clarify something. First of all, some people are confused over there, and they're saying it's a sort of hurricane, sort of like Gono or what happened before. Now, let me tell you, this is just a tropical cyclone, which we can call it as a deep low pressure area. At the moment, the trend is, these things have the mind of their own. You have to follow them. The early projection, the last few days, the system was being projected going towards the coast of Pakistan. At the moment, the latest observation and satellite imagery shows continuous movements of the tropical storm Shobha in northwest direction, as you mentioned. The current location is approximately 650 kilometers far from South Al-Sharqiya coast, with maximum sustained wind, let me correct you, is only between 35 to 45 knots at the moment. Although there are different possibilities for the tropical storm tracks, it is more likely to approach South Al-Sharqiya coast during Thursday morning, with chances of moderate to heavy rains associated with fresh to strong gale winds over governance of South Al-Sharqiya, North Al-Sharqiya, Muscat, Al-Dakhiliya, and South Al-Batina during the period between Wednesday afternoons up to Friday afternoon. Of course, the sea condition will gradually become rough over the Sultanate. As you know, what we call, there's something called storm surge. Normally, whenever you have all this storm over the ocean, you're going to have high waves. So there will be a wave between 3 to 6 meters during these coming days. the indication the system is gradually weakening at the moment, and the Public Authority for Civil Aviation strongly advises to take the whole precautions. Of course, stay away from low-lying areas. You know, our topography is unique here in Oman. Whenever you have rains, sometimes you're going to have wide inflowings. So you try to avoid the long-lying areas. And of course, we want to advise people not to put out to sea, as the sea is going to be very, very rough. So we would like to ask the public not to panic and do not worry. This is not a hurricane at all, but of course we're going to have some rains between moderate to heavy in these areas. And of course, if there's anything, we are here 24/7. We'll be updated gradually.
Well, since you have described that, is it going to affect the Sultanate? Is it possible that it transforms into a cyclone?
At the moment, all the indications show the thing is weakening because it is already approaching the coast. Normally, when you're talking about tropical systems, you know, when they're in the middle of the ocean, they develop very fast and they become very heavy. While approaching the land, they tend to dissipate. This system is showing the trend of dissipating at the moment. So we are worrying for the next few days between Wednesday and Thursday. But you know, as I told you before, our Oman topography is very unique due to Hajar Mountains. Whenever you have instabilities at all, you will have a big thunderstorm during afternoon hours, and you're going to have some showers and thunder showers. But let me tell you something. The good thing about this, the tropical storm, it is not entering Al-Batina coast directly. It is only about 650 kilometers away from southern Asharqiyya coast. Of course, you can see in satellite picture, it is showing very clearly. So there's nothing to worry about it. And at the moment, as we are saying, we're expecting it to dissipate gradually. It might even take a different direction and turns toward a different direction and dissipate. But of course, the focus is still there, and we are expecting these areas to be some thunder showers, of course. Sea condition will definitely be rough. So we are trying to tell people, please try to avoid to go into the sea and do not create rumors to create and panic the public over there. We are here, we are doing our job very well, and if there's anything over there, we'll be informed gradually.
Well, thank you very much, Suleiman Al-Jahdami, for the weather update. Thank you once again. That was Suleiman Al-Jahdami, who briefed us on the weather condition in the Sultanate of Oman. And we would like to advise the public not to venture the sea, at the same time to follow the news from the proper sources. His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Nasser Al-Harrasi, Chairman of the Public Authority for Radio and Television, headed the meeting with the bodies concerned to follow up the tropical weather condition which possibly affect the Sultanate in the coming days. The meeting discussed the tropical storm condition from various aspects, including predictions, expected effect, and prominent preparations in case the condition approaches coasts of the Sultanate, along with its direct and non-direct effects. His Excellency the Chairman of the Public Authority for Radio and Television stated that the authority and the bodies concerned are ready to deal with weather condition developments, praising the existing cooperation between all parties in monitoring and following the tropical storm through giving the right information for the citizens and residents from its official sources. During the meeting, the Public Authority for Civil Aviation stressed that there are 3 expected directions for the weather condition, indicating that the storm is currently in the Arabian Sea, moving towards the Sultanate, adding that it is around 650 kilometers far from the coast of the Governorate of South Asharqiyya. The joint meeting to discuss strengthening the current and future prospects of cooperation between the International Institute for Educational Planning IIEP and the various education stakeholders in the Sultanate was held in Muscat today under the auspices of Her Excellency Dr. Rawia bin Saud Al Busaidia, Minister of Higher Education. The meeting was attended by the Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Institute, its Director and members of Board of Directors, along with Her Excellency Dr. Madiha bint Ahmed Al-Shaybaniya, Minister of Education, members of the Education Council, representatives of public and private universities in the Sultanate, and other interested personnel. The joint meeting, which brings together planners in the education sector in the Sultanate and the UNESCO International Institute for Educational Planning, which is a leader institution in developing policies, planning and management, and which contributes to raise the capacities of member countries in the field of its work through the training of those responsible for the planning and management on analysis, implementation, monitoring and organizational skills. The Shura members discussed today many suggestions that have been passed by the Council from different committees. The main focus was on providing job opportunities, educational issues and other recommendations to solve water shortage. More details with Saif bin Khalfan al-Kindi in the following report.
Discussing the suggested proposals by the Shura members was the key concept of today's session, where the focus was on providing jobs opportunities to graphic designers and kindergarten graduates. The Majlis also passed the report raised by Food and Water Security Committee that aims at making good use of water resources for different purposes. The Majlis also passed the report of the Educational and Research Committee that calls for critical assessment of MOE policies towards developing educational curricula. One of the issues discussed during the sitting today was the importance of obtaining guidance programs for the tourists to increase awareness on Omani values and behaviors when visiting the Sultanate. The session also focused on the recommendations revealed by the team of Shura members after the visit they paid to the Public Authority for Electricity and Water to find out appropriate solutions for water shortage. Well, the main focus in today's session was on discussing ministers' replies based on the questions raised by the members. Tomorrow, the Majlis will host His Excellency, the Minister of Commerce and Industry. Saif al-Kindi for English News, Muscat.
To have more details on that, we now have online His Excellency Engineer Mohammed bin Salim al-Busaidi, member of the Shura Council. Your Excellency, welcome to the Sultanate of Oman television. Now, we would like to know that you have visited the Public Authority for Electricity and Water and discussed the reasons of water shortage with His Excellency, the Chairman of the Authority. What would you like to tell us about it?
Thank you and good evening. Actually, Majlis Shura had noted with concerns the interruption of water supply in Muscat and different areas in the past 2 years, and form a special committee to look into this problem and have a series of meetings with the concerned bodies of the government, including the Public Authority of Water and Electricity. And the recent issue, which is now still ongoing on the big shortage of supply of water, was a real concern of Majlis Shura, and decided to pay a visit to the authority and understanding what is the issue exactly and how long it might take. And we had a good meeting with His Excellency, the Chairman, and we understand actually the problem and the impact, and also the time and effort which is taken by them to overcome this problem. And today, in today's session, Majlis Shura had a discussion on this issue and came out with a number of recommendations.
Do you expect this problem to be solved in the coming few days?
Well, I mean, the problem as it looks now, I mean, it's already coming to an end. It might take a little more time, but if whatever plans they have now came into position and as expected early July, I think this problem will be overcome. But in addition to that, I think we have came out with, as I said, different recommendations, which is very important to be taken by the government, because what we found actually, one of the reasons that, the time taken for getting approvals for such projects from the government is too long, and that should be cutting down into much shorter time. Water supply is very important for the people and should not take such long time. Also, we have recommended the restructure for the water sector, taking into consideration the experience of the electricity sector. In addition to that, also we government should allow, also introducing new companies to the sector where we can have international experience, where they can come with a better solution and maybe more economic and much faster solutions. And also we have recommended involvement of research centers like Sultan Qaboos University to come up as well with innovative solutions for the water sector. And the other important issue as well, government should allocate areas readily for the water projects, because it's a real concern for the authority where sometimes they don't have the areas to have their project, and might take them a long time also.
Well,
yes.
Let's hope that this particular problem is going to be solved soon, because as everybody knows about it, that people are really encountering a lot of difficulties. Are there any other recommendations from your side there before we conclude?
Yes, sure. I mean, another recommendation which is very important as well, we have recommended that also government should look also at introducing alternative energy solutions, not only relying on the electricity, because it might be a concern after some time where the cost will be very expensive, and like solar energy and wind energy as well. And also we have recommended as well that government as well, especially in the emergency plan, at the moment what we found in a recent situation that emergency plans are not really effective enough, and we are recommending that should have proper and effective emergency plans, and also involving other members from the government. And the most important as well, they should involve also the municipality committees from different wilayat whenever such a situation is happening, because an emergency can happen, but how to deal with the emergency, that is more important to make it much shorter.
Right. Engineer, Your Excellency, let's hope those recommendations will be taken into consideration. Once again, we would like to thank you for joining us and briefing us on this particular issue. Thank you very much. Still to come in our news bulletin, Oman Air, Garuda, Indonesia have entered a new code-share agreement that will offer greater choice and convenience for customers of both airlines. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed Al Nu'mani, Minister of Royal Office, received in his office today General Lloyd Austin, Commander of the United States Central Command, and his accompanying delegation within the framework of his current visit to the Sultanate of Oman. The meeting exchanged cordial conversations and discussed topics of common concern. The meeting reviewed much of the good bilateral relations binding the Sultanate and the friendly United States and means of enhancing them in various fields to achieve the joint interest. His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Saud bin Harb Al Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defense Affairs, received in his office at Muaskara Beit Al Falaj today General Lloyd Austin, Commander of the United States Central Command. The meeting reviewed fields of the existing military cooperation between the two friendly countries and exchanged viewpoints on matters of common concern. Air Vice Marshal Matar bin Ali Al Ubaidani, Commander of the Royal Air Force of Oman, received at Muaskar Al Murtafa today Vice Admiral Rinaldo Veri, President of the Center for Advanced Defense Studies in the Italian Republic, currently visiting the Sultanate. The two sides exchanged cordial conversations and reviewed viewpoints on a number of matters of common concern. Rear Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis al-Raisi, Commander of the Royal Navy of Oman, received in his office at Muaskar al-Murtafa today Vice Admiral Rinaldo Veri, President of the Center for Advanced Defense Studies in the Italian Republic. The meeting exchanged cordial conversations and discussed matters of common concern. Under the patronage of His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Nasser al-Harrasi, Chairman of Public Authority for Radio and Television, Al-Mahra film was shown at Fox Cinema Hall in Al-Quram City Center. The theme of the film was highlighting the social practices in the South, and especially in the increasing in paying the dowry. It is a romantic story, and its scenes were filmed in the governorate of Musandam. The shooting of the film took a month and cost about 150,000 Omani Riyals, as well as the editing was done at the studios of Bollywood. Moreover, the film also sheds light on the traditional arts of the governorates of Musandam. Oman Air and Garuda Indonesia have entered a new code share agreement that will offer a greater choice and convenience for customers of both airlines. According to a press release issued by Oman Air today, the agreement will enable Oman Air's customers to book flights operated by Garuda Indonesia between Jakarta and Bali, Kuala Lumpur and Bangkok. In turn, Garuda Indonesia's customers will be able to book flights operated by Oman Air between Muscat and Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok, Jakarta or Salalah. A seminar on illegal possessions was organized in the governorate of South Al-Batina under the auspices of His Excellency Hilal bin Saeed Al-Hajri, governor of South Al-Batina. It revealed that more than 2,000 cases have been recorded that represented in taking possessions of the state's land plots in different wilayas and governorates of the Sultanate. The seminar highlighted the procedures and laws related to this phenomena, in addition to the mechanisms for eliminating or elimination of illegal possessions in the wilayas. It also came to spread awareness among all citizens to preserve all land plots of the state from illegal possession and not to start building unless they get official licenses and building permits. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and now to end the news, here are the main points once again. The latest updated weather chart shows closeness of the storm from South Sharqiya coast on Thursday morning, with chances of light to heavy rains on Wednesday. Sultanate discusses benefiting from UNESCO International Institute for Educational Planning and drawing policies and enhancing work in field of educational planning. And the seminar on illegal possessions in the governorate of South Al-Batina reveals more than 2,000 cases are recorded in taking possessions of the state's land plots. With that, we come to an end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.